Welcome to She Lancer, Mom Entrepreneur with VoiceOver Angela. I'm your host, Angela. I'm a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and this podcast are the audio versions of my live Q&A chats on YouTube. If you'd like to be part of the live Q&A chats, come on over to my YouTube channel, VoiceOver Angela. I'm live every Tuesday at 12 p.m. EST. We talk about voiceover, the business of voiceover, audiobooks, and so much more. Find more information on my website, voiceoverangela.com. Enjoy today's episode. Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm so sorry. I was just listening to a TikTok and I'm learning how to day trade, so I was just sucked into the market for a second. So sorry about that. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. Thank you for joining me again. And again, sorry, I was distracted. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Angela. I'm a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and my channel is dedicated to those of you just getting started in this wonderful world of voiceover. If you're not new here, then you know every day or every week we have a new poll, and that is generally the topic of the day. And today's poll is, have you received any coaching or mentorship in voiceover? And of course, these topics come from questions that I get quite a bit, usually in the week or weeks preceding these weekly live chats. So I wanted to share some insight into where I have found coaches and where you can find coaches, how to find them, when you should seek out coaching. Because there are a lot of options out there. And if you're watching and you have found a coach that you enjoyed working with, then share it in the comments, where you found them, how it went, that sort of thing. The whole idea behind these is to share, right? Share with everybody watching, share with everybody who will watch this video later on in the replay. And help answer these questions and to guide them into, where and how and when do you find this coaching. So let's go over to the poll really quick. So we got about 25 votes so far, and have you ever received any coaching or mentorship for voiceover was the topic. Or was the question for the poll. So 8% of you said yes from one person. 36% of you said yes from two people, and that's actually good. I think, as always, getting multiple opinions is a good thing. And not only that, but a lot of coaches have a specialty, more or less, right? Most coaches will have usually more experience in, let's say, audiobooks, or more experience in e-learning or video games, or maybe they have more of a technical prowess, right? Maybe they'll help you a little bit more with setting up effects in your DAW, things like that, commercial work, so on and so on. So there are a lot of coaches out there with a lot of different specialties. So depending on where you currently are and perhaps where you would like to go is going to determine what kind of coach you're probably going to want to seek out, right? 52% of you said no, but planning to, and that's good. And then 4% of you said, I have no idea how to find them. So I'm hoping that something said today will help you to kind of laser focus maybe, or, maybe narrow your view and your search and how to find someone. I can tell you that I waited too long to get coaching myself because, I'm hard-headed and stubborn and want to do everything on my own. You should definitely seek coaching sooner rather than later. I think I waited a little over a year before I got coaching because I wanted to just, YouTube University everything, which is not a bad thing because there are an awful lot of voice actors who offer free information and video tutorials and things on YouTube, myself included. So that's not a bad way to go, but you definitely want to get some one-on-one coaching as well, because as we know, there are so many variables in not only the industry itself, but with your particular voice, your particular vision and goal and direction and what you want to do. Not only that, but your equipment, your studio size, the shape, right? There's so many different variables. So one-on-one coaching is definitely something you want to look into, depending again on where you want to go and what you want to do. So I definitely recommend sooner rather than later. Okay, let's go over to the comments. And again, and if you have someone that you've worked with, where did you find them? How did it go? That sort of thing. Maybe even what was their specialty, right? So we can help some people watching. I can't believe I did that this morning. So sorry about that, you guys. I just got sucked right in. Who was here first? Caesar was in first. Hey, Caesar. Oh, hi, Angela. So for the last couple of years, I've operated on pure intuition and surprised myself when I discovered that my methods often align with those of industry experts. Go figure, right? I still see the value in coaching, of course, and feel like I could use some either to reinforce what I think I know, discover new techniques, or stay aligned with current industry trends. Yeah. A coach will definitely do all of those things. Because I could tell you from my experience in coaching is that I didn't know what I didn't know, right? How could you know what you don't know? And so a coach who is obviously in the place where you want to be has been through probably a lot more trial and error and experiences than you have. So they can help to guide you, perhaps to sidestep some of the pitfalls that they experienced. Right? They could guide you around some of the things that they experienced by just trial and error. And they could probably help you to get to where you want to go faster, right? Instead of going this path, which could take you the really long scenic route, or you could just go directly here and get to where you want to be much faster, right? So makes sense. Not only that, but they're going to be more on top of industry trends, the verbiage, all of the things, again, that you probably don't know yet, right? So coaching can help you in many different ways. That said, hello, everyone. I won a 3-book deal through my online profiles. Of course you did. The audition, I feel, was just a formality, and a decision was made in under 12 hours. Online presence is really paying off. You guys know I preach it. You got to be visible. And online, social media, website, being searchable, visible, right, is definitely going to help you be found by clients, publishers, casting directors, because that's where everybody is, right? They're on social media looking for 30-second videos on information, entertainment, distraction, right? So definitely make sure that you are online and searchable, visible. And then going back up to Eric. Eric said, good morning, good morning. Just popping in to say hi and good morning. Good morning to you, Eric. I hope all is well. Peak Parable says, hello, Angela. Hope you're staying cool. Yep, it's actually not too bad today. It's going to be a little bit cooler today. I think it's only going to be like 60-something today. I say only, but it was back up into the 80s for the last couple days, 70s, 80s. Crazy for February. It's a balmy 18 degrees for me right now. Having said that, I started out with online free resources like yours and others with online presence. Have recently moved to a small group, and one-on-one sessions as my interest has aligned and my focus towards specific genres. Don't discount free online advice like YouTube and Angela's teachings. Just like movie Hitch, it will allow you to move in the 90% and get dialed in. I mean, you can't discount all of the free coaching and information online available to you on YouTube or any social media platform for that matter. You can find coaches all over social media. And I think social media is a good start to find a good coach. Because once you are, and people ask me how you, as far as should you have a personal or business profile and all the things. So once you decide that you want to be a voice actor or audiobook narrator, you have to start at that point. If you're going to move forward with it, at that point, it is a business, and you have to think of it as such. You have to think of it as this is my business, right? And you have to treat it as such. So, therefore, you want to start creating social media profiles that are a business account, right? Business account for social media. You could still keep your personal stuff, but you have to start thinking of it as a business and treat it as such. So social media business profiles. And then you start to create and mold your algorithm, right? Start searching for voice actors, audiobook narrators, authors, casting directors, e-learning developers, video production companies. You want to start filling your algorithm with these people and start making connections. Start watching their content, right? Engaging with the content that you're seeing, so that will help to feed the algorithm. And then you start making content, right? You can make content about whatever it is that you want it to be, as long as you're clearly stating somewhere in a video or two, in your profile, almost anywhere that you could, really, what you're doing as a voice actor, audiobook narrator. You have to make it known that is what you do. And not all of your content has to be voiceover audiobook related. You want to throw in a couple of pieces of content, mainly video, I would say, mostly video, because that is what everybody's looking for. And you can make video content about maybe treat it like a vlog, right? This is what I'm doing today. This is how many auditions I'm going to do, so on and so forth. Or if you're starting to record a book, you get the author's permission, which I don't think they're going to mind you hyping up the book before it's produced, and film yourself recording snippets of this audiobook for a behind-the-scenes look on how audiobooks are made. Same with voice acting, and then make other content about you going to the grocery store and commenting on something, or talking about the weather, or whatever it is. Walk through the park. But you're making content that does include some about you being a voice actor, audiobook narrator. You have to make it known that's what you do, and they can hear you, and then they can also see what kind of person that you are. And then your content will be pushed out to not only the people you're making connections with, but then also people in their circles too. And this is how you start to network, right? This is how you start to build a larger network on the interwebs. And then at some point, you're going to have the right people that are looking for you, find you, reach out to you, and offer you book deals, a place on the roster, all of that stuff. Or if you decide to start reaching out to companies yourself, they can Google search you and then find all of your social media business profiles and your website. I cannot say how important a website is. The website, all the social media platform profiles will only make you look more credible, more professional. You are an established voice actor, audiobook narrator, right? Super important to be on social media. But the coaches are also doing the same thing, have started the same thing, are doing the same thing. So if in the process of curating your content within your algorithm on social media, you'll start to run across other voice actors who are offering free information, who are offering tips, advice, so on and so forth. So you will eventually start to come across these people. You'll start to learn about perhaps workshops, conferences, just listening to other people's content. They might go, hey, I'm going to, VO Atlanta this year. And you go, oh, what's that? And you Google it. And then you can find coaches that way too. So social media is a great way to find great coaches. And then in researching them, you'll probably see their name more and more often, right? And then you'll start to see what their specialties are, right? You'll start to see, okay, well, she does more e-learning stuff. She does more commercial work. He does more audiobook work. I think I should reach out to him or go look at his website and see if he offers coaching. But again, also through this social media algorithm content that you're building, right? You're also getting to know this person. You're getting to see if this person is the person that could be a potential coach, is someone that you can relate to, get along with, that you feel comfortable, that you would feel comfortable working with, so on and so forth, right? So for all of these reasons, get on social media. And you probably heard me say it a million times before, but for all of these reasons that I just highlighted, get on social media. Make sure that you're visible. Make sure that you are searchable, that you're there. There's so much information you can find. And then once you find somebody that you can work with, then reach out to them and see if they have time, if they have room in their schedule to work with you, right? That was a heck of a tangent, but I think it was necessary. And I get these questions an awful lot, so I felt it necessary to go through sort of the A to Z and to highlight why it's so important to get on social media. Oh, and we have a super chat. I'm so sorry. I was too busy tangenting. Tangenting? Oh, thank you, Caesar. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much. You're the best, Caesar. Caesar says, my first VO lessons really were Angela's YouTube videos. I listened while scrubbing my spare room, getting it ready for conversion into a studio, while muttering something about horrible acoustics. I could see you doing that too. And needing room treatment. You're amazing, Caesar. Thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. That was so sweet. I remember somebody else telling me that and I have seen other videos where people are watching me like on a large living room TV. And me being an introvert, I'm just like, oh God, it's so embarrassing to see my face so large. Oh God, makes me want to run away. But I do this just because I wanted to pay it forward. I've found so much support in the communities in voice acting and with the people that I have met and followed. And, I kind of wanted to give back. And then, when was that? 4 or 5 years ago now that I started this YouTube channel, just sharing what I have learned so far. And it's turned into this. And I'm so grateful for all of you that join and share your opinions, because it's not just all about me. I mean, it's a collective, it's a village, effort, right, to help everyone else, just because we all are sort of like-minded in that way. So I appreciate the time that you guys all take to do this, and I'm going to stop giving the tangent, take away from the tangent time. Okay, we're moving on. Because I'll just tangent for hours. Okay. Thank you again, Caesar. You're so sweet. Donnie G says, morning all. Morning to you. Colette says, good morning. Carlos, good morning. Sean Tyler says, never had voice acting, coaching, or lessons. My wife says I'm talented because of my tism. Since I was small, I've always had an affinity for acting, impressions, accents, and voices. Which, and I hear that a lot. I hear some very naturally gifted and talented people that I have come across in my years of doing this. Caesar, one of them, namely. But coaching and mentorship is still something that I would recommend. Not so much maybe in the performance realm, if you already have that natural ability to do most of these things, but it would still help you on the business end, perhaps, and then also perhaps guiding your direction. They could also help you with the technical aspects if you need help with editing, effects, getting your effects down, getting your room dialed in. They can help you to perhaps devise a perfect demo for the perfect casting director for for the direction that you want to go. Just keep in mind that even with natural skill and ability, there's still a lot you probably don't know that you don't know. And having a coach or a mentor to help you get to the place that you want to be faster is nothing but a good thing, and help you perhaps to sidestep some of the mistakes that they made, right? Or maybe a major mistake that maybe there's a bad habit that you have, right? This happened to me. I had a bad habit of, speaking in melodies and rhythms and things, and I didn't know I was doing it until my coach pointed it out. And then that way I could sort of stop and retrain myself to not do that anymore. So there could still be something that a coach and a mentor could help you improve or prevent you from doing, right? Dwight says, good morning, loquacious goddess of the dulcet tones. Good morning to all of her loquacious minions and mentees. May your voices be at their best and your opportunities be bountiful. I love it. Yes, I know. I got sucked into other things. I apologize. I was like, I'm going to go check this really quick, and then gone. Chat with Lorna says, good morning, sunny, frozen start in Oregon. What is the weather like in Oregon? Sunny and frozen, apparently. Kirsten says, good morning from cloudy Los Angeles. It's supposed to rain this Friday here. I'm excited for that. Let's hope. Carlos says, I've done a free weekling workshop with Nick Omana, but not paid coaching. And I do think that even if you don't, and I know that coaches and mentorship programs and things, they cost money, but I mean, if you're thinking of your voice acting audiobook business as a business, again, as you should, treating it that way, it's hiring a coach and a mentor is an investment in that business. But if it's something that is just not in the cards for you right now, at the very least, try to find a community, a workshop, access to like a Discord server, access to a group of peers that can help you move forward by learning from them. Maybe you have something to offer them in return, much like my Platinum group. But in that, you'll learn a whole lot more, not only from the coach or mentor who is hosting that group, but also from all of the other experience levels, walks of life, from everyone else within the group, the other peers. There's a lot that can be gained, and there's a lot of growth and support from a community that can be found by joining a community, right? Even at the very least, join Facebook groups for that support and community, right? But if you can join a group that actively gets together and they go through scripts and, challenges and things like that, review auditions like we do in my Platinum group, stuff like that is, that you can participate in, that's definitely going to help you get started. And when you're ready for a coach or a mentor, then you can do that. But at the very least, join groups. My cup of tea says, howdy y'all. Howdy to you. Anne says, good morning. My coaching so far has been YouTube and joining Angela's Platinum group. We're glad to have you, Anne. Angel says, morning, everyone. Watching from Dallas, 43 degrees, 40-degree drop from last week. It's crazy how weather can just swing so fast. Dwight says, I have received a great deal of mentoring both from experts like you, Angela, and from my peers like you, those who are watching today. Information is power, and learning to tap into it is important. It is. It is. And I think the strongest part of that is the perhaps overcoming or learning what you don't know, right? Or learning about what you may not know and sidestepping falling into, a big hole that it's going to be, take some time to scratch back out of, right, to avoid those pitfalls. Steve says, good morning, everyone. I'm a first timer on the live video. Well, welcome. I hope I didn't dissuade you with being distracted and only able to do this today because of a snow day from work. What do you do with the snow day? Do you just do you do housework, or do you just relax, work from home? What do you do on a snow day? I've lived in California and the desert, so I've never had a snow day. What do you do on those days? Tanya says, evening all from cold and wet Manchester, England. The more I do in VO, the more I realize I need coaching in various areas. Yeah, I think I got to that point too. Once, about a year in, once I started to sort of plateau and I wasn't seeing any more growth, I was like, okay, I need someone to help me figure out what I need to do from here, right? I can only teach myself so much. Now I need to know what I don't know so I can continue to grow and move forward, right? So I think coaches and mentors are definitely a necessity earlier rather than later. Red Shadow says, good morning from Wyoming. It's a sunny 0 degrees. Could be worse. I like your mentality. I like the way you're thinking. It could always be worse, but 0. Dwight says, getting mentoring from experts in various areas is important, but I would suggest that you follow one major one at a time to help keep you focused and hone that expertise. That's true. If you try to take on too much at once, it could be overwhelming. And even perhaps if you're not really super in tune with all the verbiage and how everything works, or you're not, if you're just starting out and then you try to take on a coach and then a different mastermind and then a different workshop all at one time, there could be conflicting points of view that you don't really know yet that are, optional, I guess. I don't know how else to explain it. It might be confusing. Because then you'll sit there and you go, okay, well, this person says to do this, but this person says not to do this, but to do this instead. So now I'm really stuck, right? Now I'm in information overload, and I don't know which is the right way to go. What do I do, right? But the longer that you're in this industry and doing the work and learning all the terms and learning that there really isn't a right or wrong way to go about this, right? As far as timing and when to do the things, it's hearing conflicting points of view is really not that big a deal. And it really isn't. And I think you really should take everybody's information into account and then make your own decision on what's right for you, right? Okay, we're pumping the brakes on that tangent. I'm just going to go off again. But to Dwight's point, it could be confusing and then, inadvertently make you stop in your tracks and not move forward because you don't know. You're then terrified of making the wrong decision if you take on too much at once, right? Yeah. Anne says YouTube University is spot on. Oh, yeah, there's so much on YouTube, right? There's so many voice actors who are also coaches. I'm one. I think Gabby Nistico, the gift of Gab, I think she's also a coach, if I'm not mistaken. And then, of course, Anthony Pica, VO's Journey. Who else is there? There is Mark Scott, the VOpreneur. There's a lot. Crown Stag, I think he does... correct me if I'm wrong. I think he does coaching too. But there are quite a few that you can find on YouTube who offer great informational videos. Carlos says, listen, no worries. TikTok be TikToking. Yeah, I always have it on in the background, just, letting videos go. Just to, every once in a while you'll pick up something interesting. I don't know. It's either that or music. Dwight says, there are also levels of coaching that are valuable, but they are stepping stones to a bigger and brighter future. Yes, you can outgrow your mentor, and a good one will always help you to move beyond their skill set and get you to the next mentor or educator on your journey. That is what teachers do. I think that's a great comment because you may you may start with a specific coach or mentor who is more focused on helping beginners. And then you might find another coach or mentor who is more focused on helping intermediates, right? People at another certain level. And then you may move then on to another coach or mentor who is more focused on helping the advanced, or, people who have been doing this for 5+ years, right? And then also in a specific niche, or, what have you. So that's also a good point. So, and also to your point, a good mentor or coach will help you to spread your wings and fly when you're ready, or when they think. I've done that many, many times. I've had mentees that have worked with me for a couple of months or a month, and then want to renew the mentorship. And I said, I don't think you need that. I think you need to leave the nest, right? Because it's easy to have your coach or mentor be used as a crutch, right? For you as the learner to say, okay, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready to let go of this grounding force. I'm not ready to go out and fly on my own. But when your coach or mentor says, it's time, right? To let go and go. But I have to say that there's probably going to be some people out there that want to hang on to you just 'cause, but a good coach or mentor will push you out of the nest when they think you're ready. I'm glad you said that, because I've heard about both sides of that coin. Reading Time with Poppy says, happy taco. Where did I get taco? Oh, let's taco. Yes, it is Taco Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to all. Let's taco about voice coaches. Rustic Hillbilly says, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Rustic Hillbilly. Oh, that was a continuation. Colette says, I was thinking about learning something new, and as often happens, Facebook led me an ad for a class offering a taste of different types of VO. I enjoyed it so much, I took 2 more classes with her. There you go, social media. Once you start Googling stuff, you'll usually have those things you're looking for recommended to you on your social media platforms. That's just how Googling works, right? They'll feed you ads for what you were looking for, or maybe even perhaps things you were talking about out loud, which is kind of strange, but it does happen. So once you start searching and building your algorithms on your social media platforms, you'll be led, more than likely, more often than not, to the people that you need to find the person that you're looking for. You'll be led to the right teacher at the right time, right? Yes. Tanya says, congratulations, Caesar. Caesar says, on that note, regarding trial and error and pitfalls, having myself taken the scenic route, I've fallen into enough pits that I feel like I have coaching to offer to others at this point. I think you do. You have on top of your audiobook narration skills, you have other talents, specifically with the technical aspects, that I think that you could definitely offer other people in conjunction with, or specifically attuned to, audiobook narration. I think that would be not a bad idea, Caesar. Thank you, Tanya. I was surprised, but not surprised. You shouldn't be. Janine says, first time live attendance. Welcome. And I'm super excited. I've only recently discovered an interest in VO, and while I'm heckin' nervous, I've been just sponging all of your content as much as I can, as quickly as I can, to get started. My first mic and interface arrived this morning. Yay! Exciting new gear day. And this weekend I'm building a portable booth. Good for you. New gear is always a great time. It's a great day, New Gear Day. Kristen says, I did a video-based commercial voiceover class through a company called Aliso Creek in Los Angeles. It was helpful to give me some foundational information and tips. You will still find, you could still find voiceover coaching classes, courses locally in person, probably in your area if you did a quick Google search. But if you're looking for perhaps one-on-one mentorship, or if you're more comfortable in a group setting, you could look for in-person classes, or you can look for workshops, masterminds, mentorship programs, stuff like that online, especially if you need a little bit more flexibility and availability, right? Because maybe you can't take the class because you're at work at that time or whatever the case is. But a coach or a mentor online can obviously be a little bit more of a flexible option to meet with you one-on-one to address exactly your needs in your space with your equipment, right? So, but you still can find, to my point, classes in person in your community if you look. Colette says, having worked with Caesar, I can say he's got a lot to offer. What time is it? Oh, okay. I got about 25 minutes. Dwight says, hey, gang, let's help Angela by gently tickling the like button. Gently tickling the like button. If you're in Team Replay, please consider subscribing. It does help push my content out to other people looking for this information. I appreciate you. She gets all giggly when you do, or maybe just turn red. Maybe. Yes, but smash that like button. Janine says, oh, that was a continuation. Eric Grimes is here. I don't know why I do that. Why do I do that? Oh, yeah, because of Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. Eric Grimes says, for me, the coaching I have received has been invaluable. Angela and her Platinum group have been invaluable to me as well. I can't imagine being my best without any of the above. Oh, that's so sweet. I love my Platinum group. You guys are amazing. Dylan says, good afternoon, all. Speaking of which, I've only received coaching through your Platinum group, even though I've missed about the last 2 months. It's hockey season, right? It's helped me a ton, and I absolutely see the benefits of coaching. Good. I'm glad you guys do. Colette says to Dylan, I agree about the Platinum group. Can't beat the information and insightful people here. Kristen says, I love the Platinum group and I'm so thankful to have found it in all of Angela's information. I feel like I'm learning something new every day. I still do too. I mean, that never stops. It never stops. You should learn something new every day. You should never stop learning. Tangelenting. I like that. Lele. Was it, what do we agree on, Lily or Lele? I think it was Lele. Lele says, I want to join you, but I know for a fact I cannot make it for Thursday, 8 p.m. live sessions. Anyway, if I become a Platinum member, then we have some alternate timing. I have thought about having a second Platinum group meeting, perhaps on the weekend. But to be honest, I'm all about trying to keep costs as low as possible. So if I have to make another class, then I have to raise the price. I don't want to do that. But I can tell you that we do have people from all over the world join the Platinum group at 8 p.m. EST, and all of the meetings are recorded. So you can always catch one if you miss one. And then also with your group membership, you also get access to our Discord server, our private Discord server. And there you have access to all of the members and their help because everyone helps each other. It's amazing. Pretty much 24/7. So I'm not sure if that helps, but if there's going to be a change in when we meet, then I will definitely let everybody know. Lele says, is there any way the time can be adjusted? I can get a recording. Yep. Recordings. If you're a member, you can watch every single past meeting is available to you to watch. David says, hello from Hamilton, Ontario. Diane says, hello, have you done a chat on contracts? I am having a hard time finding what to expect from employers in that area, and I don't want to get it taken advantage of. I want to say yes on my freelance voiceover playlist, perhaps, maybe even my audiobook narration playlist on YouTube. I do have a handful of videos on contracts, NDAs, things of that nature. I think we even did a live chat on contracts and NDAs maybe a year ago, I want to say, but it's probably good. It's probably time for a refresh for sure. But if you go to my channel and you search within the channel contracts, NDAs, keywords like that, it might lead you to some of those videos. Diane says, really a blank regarding the financial side of freelancing. I definitely have some videos about the business side, for sure. Sean says, oh, for sure. What I need the most help with is networking. I'm terrible at self-promotion. I have a VO friend who is asking me under her wing. I'm terrible at self-promotion too. Everybody in my platinum group that joins these Tuesday lives, they usually promote the platinum group because they know that I don't like it. I don't like tooting my own horn, which is horrible because I'm a business owner and I'm supposed to be marketing, but I don't. I just don't because it makes me feel oogie. Self-promotion. Taking me under her wing. I gotcha. Well, that's good. I mean, it's nice to have people in the industry that you know that can, guide you. That's awesome. Colette says, I'm looking forward to the rain too. Every day my house gets closer to the ocean. Oh, God. Donnie says, this weekend I'm going to be spending a large amount of time in front of the mic, getting my sound dialed in now that my recording space is assembled. Likely going to do a group workshop first. Good. PSV Odyssey says, howdy, howdy, howdy. Paul in Arkansas. Joel is here. Hey, Joel. Hello, all. Brought some donuts. Yes. We didn't have any donuts yet. Sarafim, am I saying that right? Does Warm Audio make good microphones for VO? Enter Caesar. The TLM 103 is too much money right now, and the Warm Audio has mics that are cheaper. General statement, I've heard Warm microphones are very good. I'm sure Caesar will have some detailed information for you later or further down in the chat. I've never personally used a Warm mic. I've only used Rode, Sennheiser, and Blue. I think those are the only mics that I've ever used. And then I also have a Lewitt, but I've never used a Warm. So I personally couldn't tell you, but I've heard that they're very good. Lisa says, as a former singer and recording artist, I've gone through voice coaching and found it really helped to stretch my vocal range and breathing techniques. Yep. Because a coach can also give you some great warm-ups practice, all the things. There's so many different ways a coach or a mentor can help you in ways that you're probably not even thinking, Definitely worth it. Bob says, I don't even have a daily routine yet. I don't even check Fiverr every day. If I get a job, I won't know until it's too late. Well, that sounds like you may need a little bit of discipline and organization, Bob, and I can totally relate to that. Especially if you're, in a generation such as mine or like a millennial where we're used to, if you're coming into this industry later in life, let's just say, and you're more used to a corporate kind of structure, right? You're used to people telling you what to do instead of you telling you what to do. It's a little bit of a mindset shift. So I can totally get that. But these are the things that treating your voiceover business like a business is going to help you do, because no one is going to look after that business but you. So you need to make yourself the CEO, the president, right? You are the person in charge, and therefore you need to create a schedule for yourself to do this, check this, build this. You need to do all of that yourself. And that is the discipline and the mindset shift that needs to take place when you start building a business. But it is a difficult shift. It is a difficult shift. M. Todd Coyne says, I need someone to help me move forward in my voiceover career, someone as excited about me and what I bring to the table as I am, more a mentor than a coach. Yeah, that's awesome. I lost my train of thought. I was going to say, I'm sure it'll come back to me, Todd. Masonry says, I haven't had coaching for VO, but did get loads of help from taking an adult college-level speech and debate course. That would help too. Fell in love with storytelling and reading aloud to groups. Reading aloud will definitely help you to, it'll help you with sight words. It'll help you to start reading ahead of where your mouth is at, right? Your eyes could be a sentence ahead than your mouth, and that way you can start to see when perhaps a new character is coming in. You can see the exclamation point or the question mark at the end of the sentence, which changes the tone of the whole sentence that you're reading, right? So reading aloud will help you to do these things faster. Your eyes will move ahead faster. You'll start to learn how to form words without being overly articulate, right? To sound clear but not super articulate when you're reading words, right? So reading aloud, and also breath work to help you to get longer sentences out without having to take as many breaths, things like that. Reading aloud can do so much for you in and of itself. But again, more things that a coach or a mentor could help you with, but that you probably didn't realize, right? Oh, sorry. I forgot to finish the rest of that sentence. Fell in love with storytelling and reading aloud to groups. Oh, no, we did. Caesar says, I am familiar with Aliso Creek. They also have a good number of valuable VO-related videos on YouTube, which I also binged during my Procrasta learning stage. You know who also has a good, I think we've mentioned it a couple times, a good YouTube channel is ACX. ACX is starting to put out more and more content. ACX University, and that's for audiobooks. So even if you don't have ACX available to you in your country, it's still a good idea to check out their YouTube videos for help with audiobook work. As far as, you know, audition screening, technical aspects, you know, everything that you can think of in regards to audiobooks. Still good to watch. Angel says, I thought I had a good idea of how to set up my VO website. Then I went to Caesar's website and I was floored. Well, that's Caesar's. Caesar's an exceptional exception. Caesar is way over here. We're all over here. Caesar's over there. But yes, he is definitely talented. Ultimate future goals. Yes. Dylan says, can we please rephrase gently tickling the like button? I have a dirty mind. Okay, no, Caesar. No, Caesar. No, Caesar. Who's got the spray? Joy says, hello, everyone. How I got sour cream donuts. I have about 3 to 4 coaches. The latest is Ellie, who I met on Closing Credits, and she is my anime video game coach. I like learning, so it works. Just don't take too much on at once, Joy. Just be careful with that. I might overload yourself. Colette says, Sean, I feel your pain. Sean says, any recommendations about groups or services to avoid people that may take advantage and aren't worth the money? This is a tricky question that I do get. Everyone has a different opinion about what is not good for them, right? I don't know of anybody that is an outright waste of, I even hate to say waste of time or waste of money or anything like that, because who I think should be not even avoided, but maybe someone else picked over them. Someone else could say they were the best coach ever above everybody else. So it's hard to say who to avoid and who not to. So I'm not going to go down that route, but all I can say is do your research, right? If you find somebody on social media and you think you jive with them and they would be a great mentor, watch some of their content. You know, go and look at, you know, some of their reviews, join their Facebook groups. Most voice actor coaches have a Facebook group at the very least. You know, get to know who they are, get to see what other people say about them, reach out to them directly and see how they respond to you. Right? And then get a feel for how they're going to work with you. The only thing that I think that I would say is if you're a very beginner, if you're just starting out, as I've mentioned before, if you go into a program with a coach that has, you know, maybe a welcome to voiceover video or two kind of a course, and then now let's build and make you a professional demo and then send you out into the world in your first month of VO. I think something like that is not going to help you until a good, 6 months in at the very least, because as a brand new voice actor, again, if you have somebody help you make a polished, shiny demo that you can't recreate on your own is going to be a waste of money at that point. I would say if you're just starting out, you have to find the right coach or mentor for where you're at, I think is what I'm getting at, right? So if you're just starting out, I would say find someone who specializes in working with people who are brand new, like me, right? Where I kind of meet you where you are and help you sort of get a DAW picked out, your effects sort of figured out, and to start giving you some ideas of how and where to go, right? If that makes sense. I have to wrap this up. It's a half day at school. I got to be out of here in like 10 minutes, so I have to pause the tangents. But that's kind of what I have to say about that. Dwight says to Bob, I coach how to get organized in time management. That is one of the things that I bring up to the table in the Platinum group. Caesar says, we also have one more Platinum member who uses Warm Audio, WA47 Junior. It serves him well. I personally use a Warm Audio TB12 analog preamplifier. I run all my mics through it. Dwight says to Todd, Angela is both a mentor and a coach. This is what she does. She is not promoting herself that well today. She is worth it. I don't like tooting my own horn. It makes me feel weird. But thank you, Dwight. Dylan says, maybe that's why I'm good at narrating. My wife always tells me that my mouth moves way faster than my brain. I agree, Angel. That's why I'm using a cheat code and having Caesar build my website. Caesar, I might need you on that too once you're freed up in time. Tanya says, I coached with you, Angela, and learned so much. Yes, you did. Thank you for saying that, Tanya. Caesar says, thank you, Angel. I leveraged a lot of experience from web development, video editing, copywriting, sound engineering, and of course, voice acting. Yeah, Caesar's got a lot of great skills in that respect. Smiley face. Caesar says, while we're here, Dwight's an excellent coach for management and all, also great for mental health. Yep, I think that is another reason why groups are important. Because there are, within that peer group, you're going to have a lot of people in there that have other specialized skills that can help, that you can apply to somewhere in your business, whether it's the technical aspect, website development, organizational skills, mental health skills. We talk about stinking thinking all the time in our group and thinking positively, right? To add yet to the end of a sentence when you say you can't or won't or, don't do something, right? All of these things definitely matter, but within the group, you'll find that there are a lot of people typically that can help you move something in your business forward, whether it's the performance aspect, the business side, the financial side, the, whatever it is. So another great reason to join groups, for sure. Okay, last couple comments. Steve says, I'm 56 and just getting serious about my new career at this late stage of life. Signed up for Platinum this morning. Welcome, welcome. And I feel I have the raw talent, but need all the help I can get on how to hone it. Yes, welcome, Steve. We'll see you, what is today, Tuesday, so in a couple days. Dwight says, to Sean, Angela's point makes a lot of sense. As a general rule, it takes 2 years in any career to get proficient. There are no instant successes. However, more efficient ways to get there quick. Colette says, Dwight's fantastic at management. Loved his coaching. Yep. Join groups. Join groups. All right, y'all. I have to wrap this up, but we, again, will be here next Tuesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Of course, I'll try not to be so distracted next time in the beginning of the live stream. Anywho, if there's something that you guys want to talk about or discuss in one of these live chats in an upcoming live chat, then leave that in the comments below. Of course, these live chats are for you, so tell me what you want to talk about, and then we'll talk about it as a group. For those of you in my Platinum group, I will see you all on Thursday, and I look forward to it. And Friday is Valentine's Day, so don't forget to treat your Valentine to a Valentine treat. And I'll see you guys all next week. Bye. Thank you for listening to She Lancer Mom Entrepreneur with VoiceOver Angela. That's me. For more information about me, visit my website, voiceoverangela.com, or hop on over to my YouTube channel, VoiceOver Angela. Again, thanks for listening. Have a great day.